All right, have and have not fans. In this video, we're going to be talking about, will Hannah actually arrest her kids for the, I guess you could say, possession of the $8 million that I honestly believe belongs to the Cryer family? Yeah, I don't feel like doing that argument about it being Wyatt's money. It was in the trust. Let's just call it the Cryer money, okay? That's the cleanest way of putting it. Honestly, why this wasn't done a long time ago, I will never know. I mean, I think I mentioned this in my trailer breakdown for this episode, as well as touched upon it in a video I did last week, but I get it. I mean, in my opinion, with Catherine and Hannah being friends and then Jim being mad, after, the first couple times when, Hannah was unable to get her kids to send the money back, whether it be Benny or Candace, because remember, there was a time where they still had the money, but Benny wouldn't sign. And then, of course, we knew when Candace got the money and she didn't give it back. I feel like at that point, even though they're friends, Catherine should have been like, hey, Hannah, you're my best friend. I trust you more than anyone else. But that money needs to come back to where it belongs to. We've given you multiple attempts. You still haven't been able to get the money back. So Jim and I are going to have to put your kids under, I wouldn't say kids, but it depends on who had the money, whether it be I want to have to put Benny or I had to put Candace under arrest because of the, illegal possession of that money. So I feel like that could have been done instead of, Jim's multiple attempts to harm or threaten, the Young family as a whole. So you could argue that if Benny hadn't been stabbed by the surgeon or some along those lines, then you could honestly tell that the Cryers would have the legal advantage here. You could say, well, duh, they got the money. Jim was a judge. But then you could also make the argument of Candace having legal know-how, even though she didn't pass the bar because she hasn't taken the bar because she doesn't have the letter anymore to allow her to skip to the bar. It's just one of those situations where it could have worked out. Like, hell, if you want to, let's take it this far. Let's say the surgeon thing didn't happen, but then Jim popped up at, the place where Hannah was. It's not Hannah's house. I mean, technically Catherine gave it to her, but it still hasn't been acknowledged as her house. She does know that Catherine gave it to her to stay in, but she doesn't want to stay there herself. Basically, if Jim had popped up and then Benny beat him into the carpet like he did and dragged him out, he could have sued for, assault and battery. And you're probably wondering, but it's not his property. Yeah, you could argue that, well, my wife owns it and she's my spouse, so technically it's mine too. So that would have been a non-trespassing assault on Jim's part. So Benny could probably get locked up, even though Candace would have the money. It's like, well, hey, hell, your son still attacked me. So if things weren't done from the shadows in terms of, Jim sending these people one after another to harm Benny, Candace, or Hannah, then they could have not only gotten the money back from, Candace or Benny, but also had them arrested for multiple reasons. So if Hannah tries to, Hannah said she would arrest them, but the trailer could be misleading. Like the dialogue could be cut where it's like, you get that money back or I'll have you arrested. And, unless you get that money back, I don't want you anymore. Then, well, yeah, that begs the question. Is she going to say that I want you to get the money back, and when you do, I don't want you in here anymore, get out? That could happen. I don't know. But I think that Hannah probably will do it, but I'm not 100% sure. I literally don't know. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. We know that apparently Jim is going to leave Candace alone, but honestly, he's not. He's going to figure out a way around this, and I'll mention that in my video about Kyle versus Conley. So let me know your thoughts. Do you think that Hannah's really going to arrest her kids? But like I said at the beginning of this video, I think that if Jim didn't try to, harm the Young family, then I don't think that he or Catherine would have been wrong for having Benny placed under arrest when he wouldn't sign the papers, or having Candace under arrest for having all that money but not giving it back, because it is the Cryer's money. It is not her money. I mean, I remember like last year sometime, or even before that, people were saying Candace ought to keep the money. She deserves it. No, she does not. I don't care how big of a Candace fan you are. There's no justification for taking that money. And keep in mind, I'm not even just saying it because it's millions. Even if it was nothing more than like $8,000, that money does not belong to you. And I know people don't like Jim for obvious reasons, but at the end of the day, that's his son's inheritance. And she has no right to keep that. So I mean, once again, if you are a Candace fan, I'm not knocking you for that, but please don't be blind in your allegiance that what if you have a child and you left them like half of your estate? And I know a lot of us are not Cryer or Harrington wealthy, so when I say estate, I mean like the house you're staying in, maybe your vehicle, or whatever money you have in your account. So let's say you have like $50,000 in terms of your estate, if you will, everything combined. Now imagine like somebody conning you out of that money or taking it away. How would you feel? The same thing applies to Jim and Catherine when it comes to their money. Sure, I know Wyatt's locked up. He needs to be in rehab. He's probably need to be put away for the rest of his life. But at the end of the day, that is not money that belongs to Benny. That does not belong to Candace. And you could argue legally it belongs to Hannah, but remember, she's safeguarding it for the Crier, or specifically Catherine. So with that being said, guys, I honestly wish this money thing was gone. And I'm not even going to rant like I used to. Because I know a lot of people feel the same way I do. I'm just honestly really tired of this money thing, and I wish it would go away. So that's all I got to say. And I forgot if I even made my social media plugs at the beginning of this video or at the end. So let me just do it again real quick, because this is my 6th video in a row I've been recording. So it's all running together to me mentally. But you know the drill. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss out on any new content. Literally hit that bell notification, because I post all the time. Maybe I might take a day or 2 off, but when I come back, I'll come back with a vengeance by posting multiple videos. Let's shoot for a goal of, let's see, we're talking about over $8 million here. Let's shoot for a goal of 85 likes. And also check me out on social media. Links are in the description below. And let's see if we actually... Oh, yeah. Also, one last thing to plug in. Theoretically, let's say Candace actually calls for her kids to be arrested. Remember that the Malones had the police in their back pocket. So could it be possible that the cops that put them under arrest are Malones and let them go? Or even if Candace gets arrested, we know that Landon is trying to get her and Charles back together. Could Landon get her out of jail? Who knows? All right, that's all I got to say for this one, and I'll catch you all in the next video.